Confessions.
Alright guys, so we all watched Kubo. Actually, we just got back from watching Kubo.
Yep.
What did we all think?
I thought it was really good. I walking in, I didn't really have high hopes for it. It kind of looked like it was going to be a lame movie.
I feel offended that you didn't listen to me when I watched it the first time and said it was an amazing movie. So much that I watched it a second time.
Well, you see the way my schedule is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went into it not knowing much about it at all. I just knew people said it's good. And I think I was very pleasantly surprised, mainly by the characters.
I think the issue that we didn't expect like a whole lot is because of the way the trailers were set up. Because when you watch the trailers, you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it looks bad.
It's just like a really bad trailer. But the movie is great.
I actually like this movie quite a bit. I didn't think I was going to like it so much, but I liked it because the story was very simple, but also very complex at the same time. It has like a child. Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry.
You having a good time over there? Did you fart out of your face? I don't know what just happened.
Don't worry about it. Continue.
It was story was simple, but it was complex for adults. If adults are listening to it, you're gonna have a complex story. For a kid, it's very simple, but it's a very complex story for adults.
Yeah, there's complexities to it, like a lot of things that you don't necessarily have to get, but you can get.
Right. So I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I could see that whenever I was watching it, that the amount of work that was done by the animators was quite impressive. Something
I really appreciate about this movie too is they kind of go behind the scenes, like at the end of the credits, you get to see kind of like a zoom out, and
how
they show like a little bit of the behind the scenes of how they did,
really cool.
Like the big school creature you see in the trailer, and
skull,
skeleton.
It's
not just a skull; it's the body. It's a skeleton. Sorry.
Thanks, intern.
It's an undead skeleton, if we're gonna be honest here.
If I could complain about one thing about the movie, I think is the slow start it had. The beginning of it was a little slow for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
A little, but I mean, for me, it was kind of like, I don't know. It was just it was slow, but it was still intriguing to me.
It was character building, though.
Yeah.
And they didn't explain anything either, so like you had to figure it out or put things together. So I think that kind of added to it. Like if they just explained everything, I think we would have gotten bored because we're like, okay, yeah.
My favorite character, I think, is the Beetle because he reminds me.
Oh yeah.
He's like a mere copy of Ralph Brannigan from Futurama.
Kinda.
But without the creepy sexiness, like I'm gonna creep on you kind of feel. He's got the ridiculousness about him.
Zap Brannigan?
Zap Brannigan, I meant to say.
Like, who's Ralph?
Sorry, I meant Zap Brannigan.
It was kind of like Zap Brannigan, but Zap Brannigan is really sexual.
Well, that's what I meant, without the sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his sense of humor.
He's, stupid. Yeah, it was pretty close. I mean, but I think that...
Do I have eyelids?
Yeah, I think that's how it is. It's like a jokey
we find out later
style.
he has eyelids.
Yeah. The character of the Beetle was my favorite character by far. In the whole movie, the Beetle's my favorite.
Mine was a little paper man.
I could tell.
He had the directions.
Every time he was pointing, Ellie was like, "He's so cute."
Cool, bro.
So, who was your favorite character? Tommy.
Oh my God, Tommy, you're staring at the TV with your mouth wide open.
Listen, okay, look, we have a 16-minute clip of the behind the scenes of this movie, and I am literally jaw dropped in awe of this. For fuck's sakes, they literally did every second of this movie was hand moved. Like, holy crap. Every damage, every piece of fighting, everything you see in this movie.
Yeah, what we're looking at.
Holy shit. The amount of effort this had to take is just astonishing. Like, I honestly did not expect. Like, what the heck? Holy crap. This is insane.
Yeah, one of the scenes we're looking at just now, they can actually physically walk through. It's so large.
My favorite character definitely has to be the Beetle, because it just the humor was really on spot. He was like this tough guy, but at the same time he was like always confused, and he get like kind of sidetracked, and he had like really he had questions that were generally like actually smart questions, but at the same time it was like hilarious. For example, I'll spoil this one little second where he says He asks the
Spoil
monkey.
what?
He tells the monkey, "Wait, so if you're called Monkey and I'm called Beetle, why is he not called Boy?" I thought that was hilarious. 'Cause that's actually like a really smart question. Like, why do they call him by his name, Kubo, but they don't call him Boy? So I thought that was pretty funny. But I mean, he's got a lot of smart, humor. That's like, it's not intended to be like hilarious. It's just like the way he asks it and the way he performs. It's just really funny.
Without going into details on the villain, I thought the villains were pretty well done too. They looked really menacing.
Very menacing.
You got all the feels in this movie.
You got scared.
Creepy.
You got happy.
It was happy.
You got sad.
It was sad.
There was a pretty when the villain
yeah.
is first introduced, you will definitely get creeped out. I was creeped out for a second. It actually kind of reminded me of Courage the Cowardly Dog for a moment. I don't know why, but I was
bringing that back.
I was sitting there and just kind of staring. I was like, "Holy shit, this is happening!"
Like it could be one of the episodes when the villains appear. It's like Courage has to find a way to defeat them. But,
That's like every episode.
Like okay.
It's every single episode, the villain appears and encourages the fight.
But the thing with this movie is it had the feel of when you saw scary things in James and the Giant Peach, the movie, it felt like the villains that he had there. They scare you, but once you get to know them, they're not that scary.
You know what the animation made me feel like? It reminded me a lot of the Tim Burton movies back in the day, like The Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of Play-Doh-ish kind of looking animation. I like that. I kind of miss that. That's like a style that's like you don't see as much. Like if you remember back in the day, was it Chicken Run? That was similar to that.
Yeah. Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit is another. Yeah, those are really good shows. It doesn't always have to be really complex and crazy. Sometimes just simple and just well written and well created is enough.
You can tell like studios have their own style of doing things. So that studio, I can't remember the name right now. It's really bad, but they're based off in England.
Yeah.
And so they have like, I don't know, this kind of like countryside view of things. That's how most of their movies are. Wallace and Gromit.
Well, it's very cheap in comparison to this.
Yeah, so they actually use like claymation. There's a different style. It's claymation.
Yeah.
And then this studio like did Paranorman, has done Coraline. They have obviously this different look compared to like Nightmare Before Christmas. That was done for a completely different studio too. So they just have their styles.
I think the studio you're talking about is Aardman Studios.
Yeah. Aardman. That's the one in England.
Yeah. All these movies though, you could not do them in CG. It wouldn't be the same.
No. I really think that the stop motion is what made this movie really fun to watch. You could see the things that they hand moved, and you're amazed at every shot of certain things.
I give this 9 out of 10 Beatles.
Okay, Beatles. Here we go.
All right, Beatles.
9 out of 10. It's a pretty high rating. It's almost up there with Warcraft, the movie.
Yeah. No, this is actually really nice. I actually really enjoy it because it's not like a punk.
Punk?
You'll see.
You say punk?
It's not a punk movie.
It's not a punk movie. There's actual death in it, so it's nice. Because, most kids' movies, how they go.
I would give it a 9 out of 10 uncomfortable swords.
Ha! Right?
I will give it a 8.5.
Wow.
Ooh.
8.5.
What subtracts your 0.5?
Only thing that detracts the 0.5 is the end, jellyfish. And I don't want to break it.
Okay. So
I
go ahead.
Tell people the end. Whale soups.
Whale soups.
Ugh.
I am going to give it a really good rating, 9.5, and the
Whoa. That takes out your 0.5, Sohail.
God damn it.
Well, the only reason I take the 0.5 out is just because the story at very certain points was kind of confusing, but even the second time I watched it, I still didn't get certain parts or understand why something was the way it was. So that's the only reason I got a 0.5 off from a perfect 10. I would buy this movie once it's out. I'd probably watch it a few times. And
I would definitely watch this with some kids because they would really appreciate it.
Kids would understand. They wouldn't appreciate the art as much. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly, if they never showed, I wouldn't have known anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not about the art. The storyline is really nice to watch with the kids.
I suppose. So yeah,
I don't think you can watch it with kids or watch it with adults.
Yeah, it's good for both.
Wait.
9.5 what?
Origami paper. Ha.
There you go.
Nice.
Ha. To make the soldier, the little paper.
So
man.
I guess an even rating is a 9 here because I gave it 8.5. She gave it 9.5.
Yeah.
9 and 9.
Official Nerd Confessions rating, 9 out of 10.